All right, everybody, welcome back inside what are we calling this, Jason?
I don't know yet. We got to come up with a name for this.
Starting with the links. We're going to go with the links right now. Welcome back to the links, guys. Got a new logo up on the board. Week 1 is in the books. I know you guys are excited for this new video, and we're excited to bring it to you. Welcome back, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How's it going?
Going great. We got some new upgrades this week. Sound should be better. Obviously, Jason's been hard at work at some decals, and obviously you guys have seen what he's been doing in the message chat. But we got some exciting news this week. We got a special guest going to be joining us for the show. So we're going to bring on the Warden owner, Scott Ward. Bring it on over here, Scotty.
What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, sir?
Good. Week 1
First
win.
off,
I'm
before he gets
good.
going, I'm not going to let
How's
him get
everybody
started.
doing?
Don't let him get started yet.
Hey, just real
Guys,
quick, I
let's
am happy
listen.
to report
He's going to get going. He's
the
not going to
injury
shut
report
up.
on Brandon has come back good. He's recovered.
I
from the
apologize ahead of time.
shoulder From patting himself on the back last week about his Chase Brown keeper pick, but apparently the shoulder's back in socket. We'll try to keep him on the light duty as far as patting himself on the back this week.
Yep. I'm still going to try golf. That's happening. So I love the pick. I'm going to stay with Chase Brown. I'm going to rub it in all year. You guys are going to be sorry that I got him, and I'm going to be happy to have him. But we're going to start off with the show. We'll just kind of let Scott pop in here just as a co-host, and we're going to kind of touch on some overreactions from the week 1 of the NFL slate. So we're not really focusing on your teams right now, so to speak, but just kind of some general overreactions. And I know Jason's jotted down a few. I know I've jotted down a few, and Scott's always got something to say about a little bit of everything.
Sure.
So first off, Jason, where you want to start?
Those keeper wideouts. Those top tier wideouts. What's happened this week?
Who had 1-1? Who had the top dog? Who has that Jamar Chase?
Who had that guy? You guys remember who
Didn't
that
even
was?
need him.
Didn't even need him?
Didn't even need
Didn't need
him.
him. Thank God you didn't need him because he wasn't there.
man.
30-point blowout. Didn't even need him.
Thank God because he didn't show up.
30-point blowout.
But all them guys, A.J. Brown, keeper,
Week 1.
Chase, Thomas Jr., Amon Ra,
Whew.
Nico Collins, Higgins, all them guys, all laid eggs. That's all keepers and first 2-round picks right there, guys. I mean, that's a tough one.
I felt like it was a wonky week 1. Me and Scott were talking kind of before the broadcast here about just how I felt like how bad Sunday afternoon and the late games on Sunday, the 4 o'clock, I felt like that was just all awful football. And it gets kind of overshadowed whenever the night game was a 40-42, whatever, exciting kind of last-minute win with 2 teams that looked to be in midseason form with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And then Monday night followed up with a pretty good game as well. So I think that kind of overshadowed just how bad Sunday early and mid-afternoon was, and it was pretty bad from what I seen. You got anything to say about any of that, Scotty?
It was bad. It was disappointing. Unless you're a Colts fan, Colts balled out. Got to give the Colts props. I mean, it definitely looked like a Super Bowl contender week 1. Got to give it to them.
Yep. So I won't jump on that bandwagon yet. I would love to, but gosh, we've been on the bottom for so long. It's hard to get excited or to think about a Super Bowl when we just want to get back to the playoffs and actually win a game. How you Bears fans feeling after the what looked to be a good start to your game and Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson seem to be maybe growing into something special there. But what do you guys take?
Man, you wear thick skin for a reason when you're a Bears fan. That is nothing new.
Comes with
as a
the
Bears
territory.
fan.
Comes with the territory.
A lot of optimism. There was a lot of good things, but yeah, not good. Young quarterback, brand new coach. It can only go up.
You notice the bottle's quite empty from that one.
Yeah, I understand. But I feel like we're all kind of swimming in the same waters in this, just kind of hoping for some sort of resurgence. And I feel like both of our teams are kind of right there on the cusp of it. So it'll be an exciting year for us.
Well, overall, I don't think what we've seen week 1 is going to be how the whole season plays out. Obviously, there's going to be some guys that will separate, some guys that started out hot and fade later.
Yeah.
So there's
Absolutely.
a lot of
week
football.
1's always misleading. I mean, yeah, it's there's a reason they have fantasy shows and they tell owners, don't hit the panic button. Mark Fincham, don't cut your entire roster yet.
Yeah. I think there's a reason they have that saying, Monday morning quarterback, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, then again, those of you that are panicking, you probably noticed I put out the first wave of about 15, 20 trade opportunities for you guys to jump in on. So if you are panicking, just saying, go hit that accept button.
Well, I want to kind of add fuel to that panic for just a second here and talk about some of the things if I was worried about as a fantasy owner. One of those being Chiefs running back situation. I was kind of high on Isaiah Pacheco. I thought very lackluster usage from him, and kind of given the roster there, I kind of wonder about how he's going moving forward. And I can already sense the panic from Braden because if you look at his starting lineup, he's already out of it.
Yeah, well, I think that Kansas City offense as a whole is kind of thrown into limbo with the injuries. I mean, I don't know what the latest is on Xavier Worthy, but it sure didn't look good. I mean, when he left the game, didn't return. I haven't really followed that close, but it seems like Kansas City's always scrambling. At least these last couple years, scrambling early with injuries.
Yeah, I feel like their offense is kind of. I feel like their offense peaked 2 years ago, and I kind of keep running it back with the same players, and they just don't get any better.
Yep.
So,
well, I actually seen a little stat on Pacheco that basically, if you look at the last third of the season last year, he didn't do nothing anyway.
Well, I thought that was Kareem Hunt's.
A little bit more of him,
it.
and if you looked at their game,
this
he come
year
out
and kind of go back. But yeah,
he was taking some of those carries from him.
I was a little surprised. Another one I'm surprised about, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised about, is the Chargers. The Chargers offense, but more importantly, with Justin Herbert as my quarterback, which just happened. I wasn't shooting for him, but anyway, the amount of weapons on that team. It causes concern for me for Ladd McConkey when you see the usage and how much he spread the ball around last week. And it's something I'm going to monitor just because I have Herbert. But if I'm a Ladd McConkey owner, I'm a little bit worried on his usage with Quentin Johnson and how well they seem to be connected, which was a hot waiver wire ad. And then obviously a new up-and-coming running back. So there's a lot to be worried about if you have Ladd McConkey, in my opinion.
Plus you got Keenan Allen. I think he ended up.
Yes, that was it.
I don't know, 8-10 targets.
I think he was probably the biggest impact.
I think he did. I think he actually led
that comfort level.
Yeah, and I think Allen led in targets, whereas Johnson led in receptions, and then obviously McConkey just kind of falls in. So hopefully that'll get back. But I'm hoping it's not going to turn into what happened to Cooper Kupp in the Rams, where as soon as Cooper Kupp got good, he got overshadowed by Nacua, and now he's on a different team. So strange things can happen, when a guy gets an opportunity, and Quentin Johnson may be having that opportunity. The Steelers, they have, the Aaron Rodgers, is he back? And then how does that going to affect their running back situation? Their running back was a keeper in our league. So that's a big, I believe.
Jaylen Warren was?
I think he was. Maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't look that one up. You may be right on that.
But I would be worried if I'm a Jaylen Warren.
Another running back by committee. I mean, I was surprised the rookie got as much touches as he did, but
I had heard that
were.
But,
it seemed like that. I didn't.
Everybody was saying that was coming and coming pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because I think even Denver was kind of the same thing. I think Harvey did get some of those carries. I know Dobbins dominated it. But
that was another one of the better games of Sunday. I mean, if there was any bright spots offensively, fantasy points wise, that was one of them for sure.
Yeah.
If you were a team that started 2 Jets players on your fantasy team, that was one hell of a fucking call.
And that's actually
they put points up for you.
Yeah, and that's actually a great transition because that was the next team on my list to talk about was the Jets, and obviously Justin Fields. So one thing that I like, so I actually went down. There's 10 teams with new quarterbacks this year, starting in week 1. One of those being the Jets. So of our fantasy teams, only one team was starting a quarterback that was starting on a new team, and that was Justin Fields. So I got to give a little bit of kudos for the fact that Justin Fields was actually in a starting lineup and performed the way he did.
Big fish?
Big fish.
And you tried to talk him out of that.
I think I probably did.
You tried to talk him out of that. Great call, Dan.
But I will say, I think that conversation started talking him out of it, and then we said, but if you're going to play Justin Fields, you do it early in the season.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I still can't give you credit for that because you still try to make me start Dak over him. And I got bashed for having 2 Jets on my team, which I think Garrett Wilson, if I recall, Brandon just shit all over Garrett Wilson being in my lineup. And actually, if I do recall, Garrett Wilson outscored both of Brandon's starting wideouts
That's
by
probably-
himself.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Yeah, I
we
think
play
it was.
each other this week, so we're gonna hash this all out by the
that's
end of the
too
weekend.
bad for you.
I know, right? It's funny though. When you look back at it, but the thing that really stuck out to me about that Jets, and it is actually something that I'm thinking about if I have Justin Fields. They ran the ball 35 times.
Yeah.
35 times. That's a lot. So if you're going to have a running attack, I mean, you're banking on him getting rushing touchdowns, and you're going to be up and down all year, Dan, if that's going to be your ride or die. So, tread lightly.
With the Bears, he was boom or bust. But when he boomed, he put up, he was putting up 30-point weeks.
But he
easily.
had a year there. He's top 5 quarterback fantasy wise.
Yeah.
Because of that. So I mean, he's capable.
Yep. Lastly, on the NFL thing, I just maybe want to touch on the rookie impacts. So what rookies are we excited about? And this is going to be real quick before I kind of pass it over to you guys. I do want to accept full accountability for the Ebukam debacle of mine last weekend. Or Mbuka, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't even know his damn name. But Mbuka, yeah. So Braden, you were right. I was wrong.
Well, he knows ball, though.
He does know ball, and it got him to an 0-1 start. But yeah, so, that's why you own your team and I own mine. I pulled my rookie receiver out right before the games on Sunday, and it proved to be fortunate for me and probably part of, one of the reasons I won my game. So everybody's different, dude. You get to treat your game, your own team your way, and I'll treat mine. But what do you guys think about any of those rookies?
Rookie
mine got in the
was,
end zone. I was happy with my rookie.
I was going to say Genty got in there. I believe Tyler Warren had a decent game, seven catches there.
Yeah,
out of the tight end spot.
Highest rated tight end in football this weekend was Tyler Warren, not just rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, those were kind of the standouts right there.
Yeah. Amari Hampton for the Chargers got some. I mean, he didn't have a stellar game, but they kind of went away from their game plan, or at least what everybody thought was their game plan was going to be running the ball against the Chiefs.
But you see promise. You see promise when they get to those teams that's going to stay back as they pass. Pass heavy teams, people are going to start staying back on them.
Yeah,
it's going to open that up for him. So I think he'll be fine in the long run. Even Henderson in New England, he got a little time in there, made some noise.
Sure. Yeah.
So some big name rookies, kind of see where it goes.
All right, I did say that was the last NFL thing, but one other team I just wanted to kind of touch on for just a second because I feel like nobody is talking about any of their fantasy players but the Saints, and Kamara seems to be Alvin Kamara. But I do wonder, I felt like I come out of it with a little bit of promise for Shaheed owners. Knowing Spencer Rattler's the quarterback there.
Well, I tell you, the guy in that game that really came through was the tight end.
Juwan Johnson, who's a tight end I've been high on for quite some time.
Which those of you guys that know Tommy Stevens realize, I think at one time they were roommates.
Oh yeah, that is correct. Yes.
So those Penn State guys probably know a little bit about him. So
that's where he's from, Penn State. You're right.
But no, he had another 7 catches there now, 7 or 8 catches down.
He had a good
there,
week. So. He definitely had a good week. Waiver wire, chase. Everybody's chasing it. That's for sure.
100%. So, and that's going to be. Scott comes right in the show and makes a great transition. That's going to be a transition right out of NFL talk and right into kind of some of that free agency or fantasy free agency.
Well, before we get onto the waiver wires, I got one question for you. Is quarterback one the new running back one?
Oh, and that's something Jason and I talked about personally over a phone call.
I mean, you got Allen with 40 points, you got Jackson, Fields 30 points apiece, and then you got another 10 quarterbacks scoring in the 20s.
Yep, I don't disagree with that.
And with how many running quarterbacks there are these days, that was kind of one of those positions before you drafted 5th, 6th, 7th round. So is that now? Or, you got to get these guys in the 3rd now?
Yeah, and this is, when we start to look over some of the point system that I put together, this is part of the reason I added the point for running backs to get a point for every 5 carries, because receivers are getting points for every time they touch the ball plus yardage. Quarterbacks are running the ball so much now, and they're getting that added yardage and those touchdowns that they're taking away from running back. I feel like all we do is handicap running backs. And to me, I want the top 15 overall scorers in fantasy to come from 3 different positions, not 1 or 2. So that was the goal on any of any of the point systems I've kind of tried to come up with is trying to create some balance. But gosh, with these running backs or quarterbacks being running backs, it makes it that difficult.
Yeah. 40 points. That's hard to come back from that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I expect some receivers to start putting up some better numbers this weekend. I mean, what do we have? Maybe 1 or 2 receivers in the 20s this past
That's what gets you. Those quarterbacks are putting up big numbers, and these top wideouts laid eggs.
Yep.
It's like,
I mean, they're 2 rushing touchdown quarterbacks. I mean, that's what they had to do. So,
and then you had to gone over to the waiver wire. You had the mad scramble for Colts quarterback there.
Daniel Jones, was he the waiver ad of the week? I wasn't able to
I think he was one of the big ones that probably people went after. I
So-
noticed he went on waiver wires.
That's one of the things I
Did he
missed.
get picked up this week? We got it. I don't know.
Let's see. I got a note here on who got who. Mark
Mark
Fincham.
I
Mark
thought it was
Fincham, nice
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, he actually picked up him and Juju.
Oh, nice.
Smith-Schuster.
Yes. So
That's probably good.
nice
right
to
there.
see
Yeah,
Mark
that's good.
active.
Yeah, very nice.
Let's see if he's active in week 12
Yeah, well, we know he's going to be 0-12.
because he's going to be out of it by then. Let's see if he stays active.
So,
Also, waiver wire, real quick. I seen Coffee Creamers pick up a guy. I seen Beef by Ray in there. Team Johnson in there. So we got some action going in the waiver wire.
Everybody's definitely trying to shore up the back end of their rosters. And one thing that I was able to do from my computer that I'm not able to do from my phone, and I wanted to for this show, was on the computer I can see who does put in.
Mhm.
So I would be able to come back and say we had
Right.
4 people putting in for, it was a mad scramble for this
Right,
guy. Unfortunately, I don't have that information. You guys know what you put in for. Every week it's going to be a mad scramble. Just make sure you're paying attention to that. But I think this might be the first week 1 where I actually sat pat in my fantasy career. I did not make a waiver ad this week because I'm at the point now where I don't know who to drop. It's not about not wanting to add players. I don't know who to cut off yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Well,
sleepers you don't want to give up too early on them.
Yeah.
Pretty set on my lineup, but I typically defenses. I play a week to week defense.
Yeah,
anyway.
I
I don't play a keeper.
Yeah, I
defense
don't
all year.
stow
Yeah.
a defense on my
I've
roster.
already made a defensive pick.
Yeah, you
for
change
the
that
week,
weekly
so-
on the matchups
Yeah,
there. Unless you
yeah,
just got
every-
the top 1 or 2 defenses in
Right.
the league, you're changing
Exactly.
that up.
Exactly.
Same thing with kickers. You want to try to get that guy that's going to score some points indoors.
Correct.
One thing I just wanted to hit on real quick, just because I agreed with the comment. I believe it was Coffee Creamers made the comment about using decimals in the scoring system, which early on when I first started playing fantasy, I thought decimals were stupid. Wasn't no place for them. Now the majority of the leagues, I'm in 3 leagues this year. 2 of the 3 have a decimal system. I 100% am behind the decimal system as far as scoring goes. This week I felt like was a good week to point out why. If you looked at the scoring, there were 3 teams all with the same score this week, and then there were another 2 teams with the same score this week.
5 teams.
Last year, I think we had 2 or 3 ties at least, and another couple the year before. When you go to that decimal system, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
Helps with those tiebreakers.
Mhm.
Plus, it does account for ultimately more points when you're
Yeah.
adding those decimals up across
Yeah,
your
the
roster.
8 yards matters, you
Yeah.
know. And so I didn't respond to that night. Obviously, I was in bed, so I didn't see it till the next day. I didn't feel like it was appropriate to respond at that time. But I wanted to save it for this because I do have a response to it. And I've been asking for 2 years for you guys to review the point system and talk about it and come back to me with the changes we want to make. So it's a little frustrating after 1 loss. I got a guy wanting to change the point system.
But what I will say is, you go back and look. Yeah, that would have added more points to the one guy who complained about it, but the other guy would have got more points too.
Yeah. I don't.
So it's not like
as
it.
far as wins
We
and
don't know if it
losses,
really made a difference in the
Yeah,
game.
I don't look for it. I mean,
But you're right. In today's
that's a
world,
great thing, but it's the
back in the
for
day
me,
when you-
it's the tiebreaker.
I
Yeah.
get that. And
back in the day when you had to score this stuff by hand, the decimals, yeah. But now with the computers doing everything for you, we should probably look at that. But obviously, that's going to be a next year
season.
move.
Yeah, and I'm 100% on board, guys. And this is the stuff I've been trying to kind of put out there. When we talk, especially like at the beginning and ends of seasons, is these kind of issues. So I'm glad that it's been brought to light so that we can have it. I can refer back to it in that message chain. It is something that's going to have to wait till next year. I'm definitely on board with those kind of improvements, and that's the kind of stuff I want. That's the kind of feedback I want. I just hope we're not asking for the commissioner to try to make a change in season or for a game. Let's not be sore losers about it.
Yeah, that definitely can't happen at this point. I mean, that's one of those things that we can get better next year on that one. This year, it's set.
Yeah, so. And the fumble thing, how many points is a fumble? It's -2. It says it in the app. You just got to hit scoring settings. Yep. So it's available for everybody. It's not a secret, and it's been the same for 3 years. So again, all you got to do is just do some research, and all that information is out there, buddy. But again, if we want to change it, it goes to a vote. I don't do anything on my own. I like it to be a community effort. And if 2 points for a fumble is too much, then that's fine. But the reason I did that is because it's 2 points for an interception. So, again, we give points away all the time. Kickers are getting docked -3 points for missing a field goal. Nobody's ever said anything about that.
It's not enough. They should be executed.
I mean, I get it, but the problem is
Santos especially.
And I can't.
Firing squad.
The funny thing is, I can't make them miss more for an extra point. It doesn't dictate a difference.
Right. Yeah. I get it. It's
all
or nothing.
I tried to set this scoring system to give balance, and that's what I hope for. We have good games. That was a 1-point game. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, go right into this week. I think we ended up with 2 of them games decided Monday night.
Yeah.
The other games, they kind of got out of hand early. But Monday night we did have a little action.
I felt like Sunday night Sunday
night, Monday night mattered.
Yeah, Sunday night finished games for a few games, and then Monday night finished the others. I mean,
which is what you want in the league.
If we had 6 games, I would say at least 3 of those were either finished Sunday or Monday night, and that's the kind of, I guess.
The good thing about it is, there's something going on the entire week. You got that Thursday game, and it mattered on Monday night at the very end. I mean, it came down to the last seconds on Monday night. I mean, so the whole week mattered. So it's good to see that. Yeah, we had 4 games blowing out, but pretty well blowouts. I mean, them ones weren't close at all.
Yep, I agree.
Bigger story is football's back, fantasy's back.
Hey, it's exciting stuff, guys. So that's going to kind of end this segment. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back, and we're going to kind of move into the reunification project and get into our games for week 2. And we'll kind of break those down. Then we'll kind of move into what happened in week 1 as far as our predictions went. So that's what to look forward to, guys. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Our cameraman, he's running double duty today. Scott's still with us. He's coming back. Get on in here. We're going to kind of move on to our week 2 kind of pick'ems. We're going to kind of break down. Or I'm sorry, no.
Review week 1.
Review week 1. I'm so sorry. We're going to review week 1. So as we kind of look back at the scoreboard, we're going to kind of dive into some of these games. And first game on the list, as I look at the screen here, is going to be the Warden over Battle Buster, which is a great start because we got the Warden right here. But off camera, us 3 were just kind of having a candid conversation about the Battle Buster roster. So let's kind of move into that matchup, Scotty. Let's hear from you. Big win in week 1, 119-89 over Battle Busters. How you feeling?
Had the 2 Jets on my team, which you thought was a huge mistake. Turned out 2 highest point scorers on the team, which definitely ain't going to be my fallback for the rest of the season. I know that ain't going to happen. But I also wish I would have took the other comment you made was that was as bad as having 2 Bears on your roster. Well, if I would have put the other Bear in the starting lineup, my score would have been even higher. So 2 Bears, who would have thought 2 Bears and 2 Jets on the same starting roster would lead to more points?
Equal success. What do you think?
I don't even know how to comment on that one.
Tough break for Battle Buster out of the
game. You might want to write that one down because that might not happen.
Right. As I look at the top performers for that game, it is. He's not lying. It's Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Yep. And Breece Hall, I let go last year because I was so concerned about Braylon Allen. So I do have a question for you because Braylon Allen did steal a touchdown in that game. Are you concerned at all?
No. Look at the stats. Look at the touches. Look at the
35 rushes that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Breece
Hall by far is the workhorse of that offense.
And the way last season went, I felt like I probably fell victim to Aaron Rodgers being there, and the way that season went on him not being, because he was my favorite player going into last year, and just the way that season went for the Jets, I couldn't trust him with a new quarterback to really be keeper value. But gosh, if week one is the outlier or is not an outlier and that's going to be him for the season, I think you hit a home run.
When you throw that running quarterback in, that play action opens up so many more. I mean, look how many times Justin Fields, look how many big plays he was able to run, and that's what defenses have to watch for. I mean, when he doesn't pull that ball, Brees Hall's going the other way while there's three defenders sticking with Justin Fields. So
yep.
I
think will tell you though
that's going to work great for him.
At least on the Jets side of the ball, that is a 1A option, and their next options after that is a drop off.
Yeah.
So you got I'm looking here and I'm looking here.
Yes.
Or I'm running the ball.
Yep.
So at least with the Jets, you got the two guys that you need to have there.
So as I look at Battle Buster, he had a 30-point performance out of Bijan Robinson. And I think that kind of goes under kind of valued because Bijan Robinson is the guy. And in my opinion, and everybody's been saying it for a year and a half, that he is going to be the running back one of the NFL. And quietly, he just does it.
Yeah.
And so kudos, for that. But Alvin Kamara, my goodness. Good teams, bad teams, it doesn't matter. He is just him. He just performs.
Yep. Yeah, two solid running backs for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Bijan was going number one in some drafts. And that right there, I mean, that shows you why.
So he does benefit a little bit of that. The rest of the offense just ain't up to par.
Yeah.
I mean, he's option 1, option 2, and option 3 on that team.
Pretty much.
Yep. So he is benefiting. He is, but the defenses are stacking up against him and he's still producing, so that does matter.
Yep, 100%. So this game is easy to break down when you look at the numbers. So when we just look at the running back or the wide receiver position for Battle Buster, which also includes his flex. Sorry about Xavier Worthy. I know Scott hasn't really seen a report on him yet. We were talking about earlier. I do think it's a little bit optimistic. I think he's going to be back sooner rather than later. He might even try to put a brace on and play this week. So you may have dodged a bullet there. We'll see yet. Doesn't look like he needs surgery. But 9 points combined from 3 receivers. That's Nico Collins and Terry McLaurin included in that group. That's
supposed to be 2 top-notch wideouts.
Yes, you can't win if you don't get production from those guys.
Tell you,
that's
though,
not you. That's not you, Mace. That's just bad luck.
I will tell you, to watch that game early in the week and he gets hurt first series and you got to sit and wait all weekend.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Man, am I going to be able to rebound from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, long weekend for you.
Yeah, everybody does. A lot of hocus pocus in week one.
Yeah.
Stats that you can't trust.
Yeah, and there's a few injuries this week, and that was the one, though, where it actually put up a 0. Some other guys that got injured were able to get some production, but to get injured so early that you didn't even get to get, your hands on the ball, that's just unfortunate because obviously we all know he's electric when he gets it, so anything could have happened. But one thing that I was really I questioned, and I did this to Scott, and I'm unfair, guys. I'm a master of nothing. I know I'm no different than the guys you see on TV that know nothing about football. We're just talking about our opinion. But I really am questioning. I didn't notice it last week, but 3 Washington Commanders on one roster, and it's not that these guys aren't good players. I can't help but wonder how do you pick who to play each week. I just feel like it's like added stress for no reason to have to deal with these kind of problems where, I like my starting line to kind of be clear cut because I hate second guessing myself and I hate leaving points on the bench because I just have, too many guys. And I feel like you got too many guys, dude. Make a trade.
What is that they say about people and opinions? Everybody's got an opinion. They're kind of like assholes. They all stink.
They do.
Everybody's
Mine
got
stink,
one, they all
guys.
stink.
That's fine. But hey, we're watching. You're here.
Yeah. Well, I think in that situation, what makes it even tougher is, Jaden Daniels last year, he spreads the ball around. There's a lot of weapons on that team that he uses, and so yeah, it is week to week. You never know. I mean, Terry McLaurin had some huge weeks last year, but he also had some weeks where he only had 2 catches.
And that was week 1. So, right on the number, 2 catches for 27 yards. And I think that might be the part that's kind of makes me a little bit hesitant about it is of 3 Washington Commanders, one of those is not Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So,
these are all they're only going to be wide receivers and running backs at that point. Like I said, it's just hard, it's hard to figure out who to play. And, I don't want to be in that situation. So, unfortunately, 89 points, one of the lowest of the week for our defending Super Bowl champion. Everybody in the league's happy to see it. I'm sorry for you. Nothing personal. This is just gamesmanship, but it's good to see the champion humbled right out of the gate. So kudos to you, the Warden.
Appreciate it. You're next.
All right. Well, moving on to game 2. All right, we're back. Game number 2. New cameraman, so bear with us while the short bus driver settles back in. And that just happens to be our game number 2. So right on to the short bus driver and Team Johnson. Not another. That was a blowout by you, but this was a close game. So Scott touched on it earlier. One thing I did notice, we had 5 teams either score 117 or 119 points, which is pretty interesting if you ask me, to be that kind of tight knit. But this was a 117 to 119 game, so great matchup. A really good performance from Team Johnson. I know he struggled to get things going in most of his fantasy career, so I know he's a little bit excited. And I just want to touch on, I received a personal phone call from Mark Johnson on Tuesday morning after the defeat. And his phone call was nothing but kudos to the short bus driver, wishing he did some different moves in his roster, but accepting the defeat with class. Braden Coffee, learn from it. Anyway.
Didn't I put something on there that someone's going to get called out on blast today?
Anyway, so 119 to 117 for short bus driver. So congratulations getting up. Actually, now I think about it, we're all 1-0 sitting here today, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that's going to change next week, but you did get off to
2 of us will be 2-0.
Yeah. So had a great game from Christian McCaffrey. You feeling like he's back?
Hey, I hope so. A lot of touches. The only problem is he's one of them guys that gets too many touches.
And that's
in my book. I would like him to get spelled a little bit just so he's there for the long haul, since he's never there for the long haul. Which is why I had to kind of do some insurance policies on the bench there. But
one thing I didn't notice,
a lot of injuries on that Niners roster this week.
For sure. And then no Deebo Samuel this year. So they got no Deebo and no Ayuk for starters. So Pearsall had a good game. We'll touch on him later.
goes down.
Yeah. But I didn't realize.
Quarterback goes down now, too. So
right.
Purdy's out. So. Yep.
I didn't realize that Mayfield was your second leading scorer for this week. So Baker's a quality quarterback. I just didn't realize he was, your second highest scorer in a win. You seem, honestly, nothing jumps off the page for you, dude. Christian McCaffrey putting up 26 is pretty much an average for him.
Well, it's good to see.
Yes.
Come back and put up those points.
Yeah, because
that is definitely a relief.
I had to ride him all last year, and then I had to make that decision. Like, hey, is he a keeper or not? I mean, if he's there, he's a keeper, but how often is he there? I mean, there's a lot going into that.
For sure.
Which is why I had to draft like I did. Once I decided to go running back, I had to have, something there just in case.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, just a solid performance. You only had, one position player under 10 points, so not scoring double digits. That's Calvin Ridley. If you've watched Calvin Ridley's career, it's like
7-17.
So much potential, just can't seem to get it going. I feel like his problem is he's just been on 2 crappy offenses.
Yeah, that's the big thing with him is who he plays with. They're gonna try to get him the ball because he's basically what they got. But the defense knows that too. So.
Right. So scrolling down to the bench, there's not a whole lot Johnson could have done there. These are moves that you can't justify making. AJ Brown putting up 1. Yeah, you can go to your bench and find a receiver who put up more than 1 and say, I could have done this and that would have been a win, but who is ever going to – you can't.
That was your keeper.
That's not how you play the game. What you're going to be doing is chasing points all year.
Yeah. You always start your big dogs.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the matchup is.
You take the loss.
You took them early for a reason. You always lean on your big dogs.
Yeah, so don't panic. Don't hit that panic button and put him on the bench because you think it's going to be a trending kind of thing. Ride it out. That's just,
remember, if you are going to panic, I'll take it off your hands.
For sure. But again, there's not a whole lot on the benches, guys. Again, I felt like really position player wise, nothing's jumping off the page all week for me.
No, other than those quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen,
exactly,
Justin Fields.
Yeah, running back and receiver wise, I think we're just going to be kind of picking a player here, a player there that just did okay.
There really wasn't a wide out that stood out. There really wasn't a running back that stood out. There's some guys that had some nice games. I know Derrick Henry had a nice game.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams, you would have thought that. Would be
Yeah,
one of
and
your
that was going to be, and I think what it kind of goes hand in hand. What catapulted him to the top was just the second touchdown.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it was like the rebirth of Ezekiel Elliott. The last few years he was there, he didn't do anything spectacular, but they got down close to the goal line and he was the one punching it in.
Sure.
And that's
Well,
exactly
he
what
really
Williams-
benefited from CD Lamb dropping so many balls.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry
yeah.
about
Who
that.
thought that was going to happen?
I know.
A lot of drops, a lot of big
Yeah.
drops this week.
So yeah, I mean it's week one woes, so it's don't panic, just right, The way I'm trying to teach my youngest son to play fantasy football, and the way I tell him is, so when he went into week one, I'm like, the way you drafted is your starting lineup. Just roll that way for the first couple of weeks, and then figure out where you need to make your tweaks. So if you're going to listen to anything, maybe listen to that. I don't know. I don't know shit.
So
But
you're finally going to teach one of your sons to play.
Well, I mean, if your top 6, 7 picks aren't starting, you've got an odd way of picking a fantasy team, in my opinion.
well, I mean, I feel like you
But if
just
your fifth pick is not on your team no more, you got an odd way.
There's a problem.
yeah. I feel like what you're doing is you're just constantly going to be having
Chasing.
players on the bench that have good games because you're chasing last week's numbers.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and it's great to be talking about this with Team Johnson on the matchup right now, because I feel like Mark, I love you, dude, but I feel like you're the worst at this. You chase last week's points, so don't get caught up in that, man. AJ Brown's AJ Brown. Tillman's not going to take his spot. No. He'll spot fill for you. I feel like bye weeks that might be a good pick. Pittman, he's going to spot fill in for you. Don't get too caught up in last week's numbers. So great win for Short Bus Driver. I don't want to give him too much props, but we got a little sound effects, applause going on here. Let's hear it out for the first time. We got to break it out. Oh, Mark Johnson just got ran over by the Short Bus Driver. Holy shit. Sorry, Mark. All right. On to the next game, guys.
All right, welcome back. Give Scott a second to settle back in here. We'll get going in the next matchup. I believe we have coffee creamers and JJ's Masterclass.
Yeah, I'm just going to start calling him the Jettas. So for future videos,
That's shortened somehow.
I'm going to refer to Justin Jefferson's Masterclass as the Jettas. It's probably going to advance to the Volkswagens at some point.
Yeah,
but
he might get an Audi.
he's the Jettas. So Jettas against Coffee Creamers. Yeah, this was a great finish.
Yeah, obviously it was pretty close, which kind of brought up the whole decimal point scoring system. But keep in mind, you add more points to you add more points to him too. So
Bottom line, if you're relying on decimals to carry you through, just score more points.
Yeah.
Win in a blowout. Then you
Yeah.
got to worry about it.
And also, like, again, when we go back to scoring, like, the points are no secret. But when you send a complaining text message saying my guy's got 70 yards, and then I look on the app and he has 68 yards, that's a difference. That's a difference in a point.
Mm-hmm.
So 68 is different than 70. So understand there's different thresholds for in our current point system. I get it, dude. You want the 0.8, and we'll get there, but let's get there. So as I look over this, I mean, obviously we know that this was a game that came down to that last kind of Monday night. Gosh, that came down to the last play on Monday night, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Was that fumble on the last play? I was in bed.
it wasn't the last.
No,
play.
it wasn't the last
Just
play.
last quarter.
Last quarter,
Yeah.
okay. So, but one thing I didn't realize, and I just told Scott off camera, when we're complaining about, I want, why am I losing points for this, or we need more points for that? But you got 2 points out of your defense, man. Just pick better.
There you go.
That's what fantasy football's all about.
I mean,
right
come
there.
on. Like, don't ask the league to change. Just change yourself, your team. You got the ability to do so. Just go on that waiver wire, man. Pick a better defense. Steelers put up 2. Dude, you lost by 1.
But you really don't know ball like he does.
I know. I don't know ball. I don't know ball at all. But I'm the guy sitting in front of the camera, and you're not. Anyway.
You're welcome anytime.
You are. 128, 129, a good comeback. I hate that Makai gets to go into the season with the confidence that he exposed before the season started, and that's only going to grow. But I will give him kudos for his sportsmanship at the end of that matchup, and I like the camaraderie of accepting a win with grace, and I love the way he rubbed it in today after a few days of letting it settle in. So just that, I feel like Mekhi is going to be a great addition to the league. And he started off on the right foot.
Which is one of those reasons why we really got to get a draft party so everybody can figure out who each other are. It'll make it even that much better.
Yeah, so even if we only do it once, just to put faces with names, kind of
maybe
get you
we
guys.
try to get a game in a third.
Yeah, and maybe that's how we do an episode is we just do it live and we just bring everybody out and
we'll talk trash right
we'll
in front
just talk.
of you.
Yeah,
you get it out right at the beginning of the league or the season. I mean, there's no but live drafts are definitely the way to go. I miss those days for sure.
Yeah, we used to look forward to those, and I'd like to get back to those. Kind of like the whole reason I wanted to get back into this and kind of bringing us back together was to get back to those old days where it was like we made a whole day of it. We made food and it was a cookout, it was a party, and there's good times had at those drafts. So if you guys are down, we're down. Obviously, hopefully we can get everybody on board. But let's get back into the game real quick. 128-129. I talked about this in the kind of the preview segment, but my goodness, you had two quarterbacks that played Sunday night that looked like they were in midseason form already, and we were fortunate enough to have them play each other in our fantasy league too. Yeah. So that was just kind of like an added bonus for us as football fans.
Game of the week on both accounts.
Absolutely. But Josh Allen, my goodness, 40 points for a quarterback, that is tough to do.
I think most of them come in the fourth quarter, last 4 minutes.
Yeah, you might be right. But let's look at some of the weaknesses in what happened in this game. Pacheco, only 5 points. I've already talked about it earlier. I know you've already pulled him out of your lineup. I'm big on Pacheco. I hate to see that he only got 25 yards. I hope the usage kind of gets there because I feel like he's kind of that downhill ground and pound guy, but I'm a little worried.
The way that game went, I think, dictated a lot of Pacheco's usage. Kansas City was playing from behind most of the game. I mean, they lost the game. Typically Pacheco's putting games away. You know what I mean? Kansas City, although they did play from behind a few times last year, the Pacheco's role is to put games away, and he didn't have that opportunity in week one. So I wouldn't, it doesn't set off any sirens or anything for me. I think his numbers will be there. I don't necessarily think they're going to be outstanding numbers. Maybe some of the injuries actually help his numbers. It could go. You just never know with that Kansas City offense.
I know,
you really don't.
And that's what's scary to pick any of those guys. And I was big on Rashee Rice this year, going into because I didn't know he was going to get suspended, so I kept him on my bench in my IR, thinking I might keep him this year. Man, I'm glad that kind of forced my hand because I'm a little worried about the Kansas City offense in general. I feel like they're aging out. I feel like the league is catching up to them, and they have too many weapons. Like, who's it going to be this week?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
The thing that concerns me about Pacheco, though, it seemed like Hunt came in when it mattered. Hunt came in and got quite a bit of looks. Even in the passing game, he's out there.
Happened a lot last year.
So it's, how much are they going to rely on him? Is he going to be a 60-40 guy?
Right.
Do you want a 60-40 guy in your lineup?
I'm interested to see how Braden's going to move forward with this Trey McBride and Tyler Warren situation. Do you anticipate? And real quick, before we move on to that, real fast, I do again. I did it earlier, but I'll do it again because I'm not sure what you watched, Braden. But I was wrong about Ibuka. You were right. 22 points. I should have started this show with a shoe in my mouth, but I didn't. I actually wanted to do that, but I forgot. So kudos to you for that. But I am kind of curious. Do we anticipate seeing a 2 tight end kind of rollout with him, where he puts that second tight end in that flex?
In that flex position? Hey, if you've got the talents and if they're putting up the numbers, then yeah, absolutely you would.
Yeah. And Smith and Jigba clearly shows to be a number one, and I want to touch on that for 1 second because it goes back to last year. And while me and Braden have kind of a back and forth, and while he got me on Ibuka this year, I don't think you guys recall us going round and round about DK Metcalf last year.
I remember.
Yeah. He was everything for Braden last year. And I told him at the start of the season, Smith and Jigba will be the number one receiver for the Seattle Seahawks by the end of the season. I don't know football, though.
Yeah.
Where's DK Metcalf now? He plays for a different team. So that being said,
Don't go throwing that shoulder out again.
I know, right? I gotta take my shots when I can. But I look over at Brian Thomas for the Justin Jefferson Masterclass of the Jettas, and I do feel a little bit of disappointment there because I actually thought he was going to be pushing wide receiver one maybe this year.
Again, I just got to say, I mean, it's week one.
At the end of the
I
day,
think the
though,
wideouts are
that's
definitely going to
that's
come
his
around.
team, though. I mean, that's a great team.
Yeah, it is, and I will also say, again, I mean, gosh, that shoulder's probably going to pop out, Scott. I'm sorry, but I talked about Cortland Sutton in that flex last week and how much I liked it, and it seemed to pay off for you. I don't think you would have probably gotten that win if you didn't have that 18 points out of that flex position. You won by one, so again, I like Sutton in the flex. I mean,
I'd love to have Cortland
could,
Sutton as a number 2 wideout.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. I feel like he's got a really deep receiving group there, and with Justin Jefferson as a quarterback, I feel like, man, that's tough wins, especially if James Conner's going to get touchdowns for you. I mean, he's aging quickly, but golly.
I worry about how long he lasts.
I do too.
Season. Seems like he gets hurt quite a bit.
And touching on that, Trey Benson did get a lot of carries, and I believe was added this week. And is one if you watch like the fantasy guys, Trey Benson was one of the ads of the week.
Get him, yeah.
So I do have a little bit of cause for concern with James Conner moving forward, but did get you a week one win. So congratulations to you.
Trade him while he's hot.
Yeah, hey, you wanted to trade. I do appreciate the fact that he's looking to trade. I'm a little surprised that Braden was so quick to say no because he's been so quick to trade in the past. I really feel like Braden has been truly affected by his week one loss.
It happens, you know.
He might not have been back to sleep yet.
I'm sorry, Braden, but I'm really not. All right. Well, great win. You guys got anything left for that game?
No. It was a great game. Obviously, I think that was the second highest and third highest scoring teams this week.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah,
obviously,
right.
Braden, you beat 10 other teams.
Good showing from both teams.
Yeah.
Sure.
And one last thing I'm sorry I did want to talk about was Travis Etienne. I was very impressed with the usage for him.
That was a surprise.
It was because I actually thought he was trending in the opposite direction.
You're hearing that the guys they drafted or brought in, we're going to get some more of that.
They traded Tank Bigsby to give opportunities for these young guys, and still Travis Etienne. That's the move Braden's made. I've already seen it. That's who's in his starting lineup now. 4.
That's a good move. Though.
Yeah, and I agree. But gosh, I mean, what a way to bounce back from being a question mark with Pacheco to have Etienne sitting on that bench, seeing the uses there. So, good rosters, man. They're going to be a tough out for anybody.
Yeah, they're going to come down to how their division pans out. They're going to have to go through each other, obviously.
Yep.
One more time. So.
Yep. So good win, guy. Makai, welcome to the league. Glad you're starting off 1-0. So kind of get you involved and excited about it. But from here on out, it's gloves off, man. All right, so that's it for that game. Let's move on to the next one. We're not going to do a screen or a scene change here. We're just going to go right into it. So that happens to be me, man. Motor Boaters over the Beats by Ray. This wasn't even a close game, but funny enough, I never felt like I had it in the bag.
I felt like there were a lot of opportunities for the Beats by Ray, and they just never panned out. I mean, I thought Lady had a lot of points left out there in the late games, and it just never came around.
Yeah, and there's not much he could have really done on the bench. I mean, gosh, Tim, I love you, man. You're a great guy. I gotta question some of your draft picks because the time frame.
Not even just his draft picks, his keepers.
There you go.
I mean, Mixon was a keeper. He's not there. I don't know what you had to choose from. Maybe you didn't have much.
I don't know either.
But even your keepers is like, oh, man, that's a rough way to start the draft.
It really is. But, when I look at your bench and there's 2 zeros that stand out real quick, and they're big players. That's Joe Mixon and Chris Godwin. And they would have had to be taken fairly early. Obviously, one was a keeper.
Godwin did slip a little way.
Did he slip? Okay. But that's a big void to be, not having a lineup when you're, relying on a George Pickens on a new team.
Yeah.
To kind of carry you. I like Odunze. I like Odunze as a rookie. I was high on him.
But still, both those wideouts were 2s on their team.
Yes, exactly. And
that's a tough way to go.
Yeah, and you drafted injured ones. So that's just an unfortunate situation to be in. I hope you're finding a way out of it. I do feel like Tim did a good thing though because he handcuffed Kenneth Walker with Charbonnet.
Yeah, that panned out for him.
And
into this
he
week.
did it,
Did
yes,
last week,
exactly. And
I think
but
this week it's gonna
I've
help him
already
out.
noticed in his starting lineup he's made that move. I think moving forward it's going to turn into Charbonnet's backfield.
Yeah,
He's produced.
It's always a good idea if you've got the bench space to handcuff your top running back or not so much with wide receivers, but with as thin as running backs are, it's always a good idea to handcuff your top running back.
Especially a team like that does like to run.
Yeah.
I mean, they get in those weather games,
Sure.
they're gonna run the ball.
100%, yeah. I know Tim was probably looking for a big bounce back after what happened last year with Mark Andrews, but gosh, that had to be a little bit deflating to only get one catch for 5 yards.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting big things from him just
I
because
kind of
that
was too.
it was supposed to be a payback game for him.
And likely wasn't there, correct?
Yeah, likely was out. I
Yes,
believe.
yeah,
He
so
didn't
I
play.
figured,
They
yeah.
got some looks.
Yeah, so because the only thing I felt like that hindered Andrews last year was the breakout of Likely on those random weeks. But then the fantasy wise,
Well, Andrews finished the year strong. I think he was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
He finished strong.
he did
So
finish strong.
when he picked him up when he did, I was actually eyeballing him like that's where I wanted to go. You got him ahead of me.
Yep,
Um,
love the pick.
but
Yeah, there's some bright
it's
spots there
surprising.
still. Joe Burrow's going to get his
He
numbers.
was-
He'll be back.
and hey, that's not going to happen again.
James Cook, he's typically puts up solid numbers
I
in
actually-
midweek one.
I actually was down on James Cook this year, and so glad to see that he put up a 20+ game.
I honestly, I thought James Cook, he's going to be good on anybody's roster. I feel like, the Bills they're there. They're
He'll put up
looking
some
for
points.
that Super Bowl push, and any team that is pushing for the Super Bowl always has that workhorse running back that's going to give you numbers. And James Cook's in a good situation there.
Well, if
I
you
think
can
he's
find a
gonna
way
put
to keep around,
solid numbers up all week.
if you can find a way to be there late in the fantasy season, Cook's going to get into those snow games up in Buffalo where he actually gets more than touches. I think he had some really good games last year in the weather.
I think he kind of flourishes in that
Yeah,
environment.
so
There's
yeah,
some
you
guys
gotta
that are
get
just
there.
kind of that way.
You got to kind of hang around till then, though.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little deeper, a little more depth at running back, but
I mean, but when
with mixing out, I
you
guess
got
that's
you're taking up 2 bench spots with guys that's not going to be back till week 5 at the earliest.
yeah.
That's just tough. It's going to be a tough start to the season for you, Beats. And what's unfortunate about that is the first 3 weeks are division play.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's something that maybe goes on a
But-
little unnoticed or untalked about. These first 3 weeks are very important,
He
guys.
was active in the waiver wire. He's trying to
Oh,
improve
yeah.
it. Obviously, made the move in the Seattle running back field there. So I mean, he's made some.
Yeah, I'm not talking about his effort. I'm just saying.
So
I
think that score he put up probably be his low on the year.
do agree.
But I do think he's got a lot of work to do.
How do you feel about your roster, Brandon? I'm
So
curious.
I am a little concerned, even though Aaron Jones put up the 16 points. I'm a little concerned with
I would be
Mason.
concerned too.
with Jordan Mason. I didn't expect him
Yeah.
to be so
Yeah,
involved.
Number 1 running back for the Vikings is actually on my bench.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned. I actually looked for him
It's
on
a
the
little
waiver.
jab.
Right, I looked for him. I found him on your bench because
I took him early.
Yeah.
I took him early. There was a lot of talk about Jordan Mason taking over that backfield this year.
Yeah, so I like Aaron Jones, and I think they're still going to use him. And what they love about him is his patch catching ability.
Well, that was promising how he scored that touchdown.
and that does give me a little bit of hope that everything
Saved your
I've read,
with him, I would say. If you look at the touches and you look at the opportunities, Jordan definitely outpaced him.
absolutely.
he did.
But he's going to feast or famine on that receiving game.
Yep.
So
But
that's
they put him out there when they were behind. The game mattered. They did
Yeah.
that touchdown. It was
So, I mean,
easy
he's
catch to make.
he's a third running back for me. So while I'm concerned, I'm not all in on him anyway. And I made that move Sunday morning. I didn't start the week thinking he was going to play. I was actually going to play the rookie McMillan. But I just,
How did he
you know,
I didn't
he
check
got an
it.
11. He got a lot of targets. So
that's
I'm
what I was
confident. I might put him back in that starting lineup this week.
I feel like he's going to see a lot of targets.
But this is a game for me that was just kind of ho hum. Again, I felt like my game was the weekend of football. Just blah.
Yeah.
I just
For a little
scored.
boring weekend.
All right.
It was week 1. everything
Justin
was
Herbert
right.
won me the game,
Yep.
and
Justin
everybody
Herbert.
else just played.
I will say though, he looked really, really good.
He did. I'm excited because I got him late, and he was not who I wanted.
Looked good against what's supposed to be a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, typically Kansas City, their defense carried them all year last year because they were in low-scoring affairs every week, seemed like.
I think everybody's been writing him off the past couple of years, but I think he could be
I hope he
I
is.
mean, he
I
looks
hope
like
this is the year.
a Josh Allen type.
I think it's the manly affection,
Yeah.
the fatherly affection he gets from Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I bet you're right. He's like their
I think-
Is that
I
the
think-
Chicago
I think Jim
Harbaugh or the
Harbaugh-
Colts Harbaugh?
I think Jim Harbaugh brushes his hair before the game.
That must be the Colts Jim Harbaugh,
Yeah.
not the Chicago
Exactly.
Harbaugh.
But I'm
Yeah.
confident. I mean, I like Chase Brown. I mean, I kept him for a reason. I feel like he's a workhorse. I feel like he's one of the few workhorses left in the league.
Are we talking about Chase Brown again?
Yeah. You asked me about running
Can
backs.
we help you with this?
Yeah, you help.
I'll help you.
You asked me about running backs. And Kyron Williams, I never really bought into Kyron Williams. But last year, watching him, I'm like, dude, this dude never stops.
You got to realize when he busted into the league, he won people Super Bowls. And
Yeah,
then everybody
he's
thought, well, he ain't going to do it 2 years in a row, and he did.
I know. So he was kind of like, if you can't beat him, join him type situation for me. I'm like, shit, I'm tired of losing to this guy, so I may as well put him on my roster.
Right.
So little on, Malik Neighbors, it's going to be up and down. Tyreek Hill's going to be a disaster this year. I probably shit the bed on that
That
pick.
whole situation in Miami is hard to watch. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
just as soon as you pull him out of the lineup, you know what's going to happen.
I know. So I'm going to be what happened to me this year is what I didn't want to happen, which is the same thing of every year. I didn't get Jaden Daniels one. I wanted to build the team around a powerhouse quarterback, and I wasn't able to, so I just have a plethora of running backs and receivers. So now I got to do this matchup thing, and I hate doing that shit every week, man, to where you're talking yourself in and out of points. I wanted my starting lineup to be what it was, and then bye week players.
Or are we giving
I don't have
Braden
that.
crap about losing sleep? Are you losing sleep?
I
Yeah.
lose sleep. Well, I don't.
Hey,
That's why I work at 3:00 in the morning. 'cause I can't
going
sleep.
against you this week. It's good to know that you're out there on the ledge right now.
Yes, I'm hanging on by a thread, dude. But I'm gonna take the win. I'm 1-0. I'm happy. I'm
Somebody's
excited.
going to be a little quiet coming Sunday on the
Yeah,
chat
we'll see.
boards.
Yeah.
I may or may not be at next week's episode. So anyway, a win's a win. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, congrats.
Week 1. I'm not too excited about it. All right, welcome back. We got 2 games left. We're going to do this all in one segment here. We're going to start off with Team Big Fish versus Watson's Bath and Spa, which has now changed to the Twin Bowers. Love the new name, actually.
I'm glad he changed it.
Yep.
A couple of the other guys need to jump on board and kind of clean up your names a little
Yeah, hopefully we can kind of get some people following suit here. But kind of another one of those games where, I know Drew left this game a little bit disappointed. It's hard when you get a 0 on the board with anybody to feel like you should have won a game. And I'm not saying that Drew feels like he should have won a game, knowing that he got no production out of a starting quarterback and running back. But this was a big win for Team Big Fish, 119-92, and congratulations to him. He's a former Super Bowl winner, right? Runner-up, Super Bowl runner-up in his first season, actually. So I know Dan's excited to get back into his winning ways after a struggle last season, especially with the addition of his new grandson, Mekhi. He wants to show that he has some football knowledge. So I know he feels very confident about that roster, and it looks pretty good when you kind of look it up and down.
It's going to be interesting to see how Dan gets through this year, knowing who his guys were helping him make decisions years in the past, now being part of the league. They're not going to help you, Dan. They're not there this year for you. You can't make that phone a friend, so good luck. Looks like Mom's going to be your new go-to.
As I look at this kind of at the totals here, one thing that kind of jumps off the page to me, which is kind of weird because not a lot that does, but Dan had 2 30-point scorers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right
we had
there,
teams
yeah.
struggling to find 20-point scores, and you got a team that had 2 of them. The downside is he still only scored 119 points with 2 30-point scores.
Yeah, that roster is top heavy with 30 from Fields, 33 from Henry, but then after you drop down through there, a lot of single digits on that scoreboard.
Absolutely. I don't anticipate that to stay that way when Amon-Ra St. Brown is on that roster. Hawkinson has shown the ability to be consistent, but after last year, I feel like he's still kind of going to be up and down.
Well, I worry about him and the targets. It just seemed like
I know.
the targets were there. It's
Yeah.
one thing to score low, just a bad game, but it did seem like they went to him.
But just a new quarterback, you got to wonder what's changing there. So we'll just kind of see that situation as it develops. Cooper Kupp's on a new team, only 2 receptions. I know that's got to be a little bit disappointing, but if you paid enough attention, I feel like that's probably going to be kind of the way. I feel like he's a 3 there, maybe a 4. So it's going to be hard to be able to play him week to week. So I'm interested to see how Dan kind of navigates that moving forward.
He's going to need those big, heavy hitters that heavy hit every week.
Yeah, they're going to have to hit every. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
I hate to talk about a defense, but it's got to be a little bit disappointing, though, to have a -2 out of a Ravens defense that probably most people predict to be a top 5 defense, I would say, in the NFL. So you get enough 40 points.
Like
yeah, but again, they're playing one of the best offenses in the league, too, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But I'm not going to spend too much time talking about defenses. This is one of those things where, Drew, I feel like we talked about it.
The running backs.
Yep, it's the running backs, man. Like, I know you got 15 out of Warren, and you only got 9 out of Devontae Adams, which is another question mark we talked about last week. I feel like, Drew, man, you might need to be looking to make some trades here. You got enough talent on that roster to have trade value for some players. I think if you kind of get creative, you probably upgrade that roster a little bit. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to be competitive because I'm putting you at about a 500 season.
I've actually heard from sources there's been some offers thrown your way. You might want to take a look at it.
But you got Hollywood Brown, who's never going to have a higher ceiling than right now.
Yeah. There's no better time to get him in the lineup than
or get him on a trade.
Yeah,
or get. Well, this is true.
So that's the kind of things I hope people are thinking about is like the peaks and valleys of these players and when to trade a guy, understanding like what his worth is to you and your roster and when to cut loose somebody. That's going to be the difference between a winning season and a losing season, Drew. Don't hold on to guys just because you're cocky or confident that they're going to be this or that, man. Like, upgrade when you can. Take advantage of a guy who's peaking. Remember Zach Moss?
Yes.
Running back for the Colts.
Went to the
Bengals and was like a lightning in a bottle for a short period of time, and now does he even play in the NFL anymore? These are short windows these guys have, so take advantage of them when they're peaking and use the value to trade them if you need to upgrade your roster in different positions. So I feel like it's just Drew is just a victim of week 1.
Yeah.
As were 6 other teams in the league.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, we kind of questioned some of his. I mean, like I said, the Tyrone thing. He kind of went early and you got him, and I think that led into the next draft pick trying to recover from that. And yeah, I think he's going to have to make some moves.
Yeah, but I think he's going to put in the work to do so. So I know Dan's going to be active on the waivers. I know Dan won't trade. We got 2 people in this league that won't trade, guys. Let's just let it be known now. That's Dan Reddick. That's Team Big Fish. And this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to trade, so don't even bother wasting your time.
There is no soliciting all over my door.
Don't look. It's not going to happen. I've tried. He's tried. Everybody's tried. They're adamant they will not do it, so don't waste your time going look at their roster.
I don't think I even try anymore. I send out how many trades a week? I don't think I even send them to you anymore, do I?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't think I do. I think
at this point, it's just for.
I think I gave up about that about 10 years ago.
It's just the courtesy of it. Yeah, I was asked how long we played fantasy football, and I realized it's been 25 years at least.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, but that's that game, man. Kudos to Big Fish getting back to his winning ways. I know Drew's going to bounce back in a big way. I'm excited to see what happens.
The good thing for Drew is, I mean, they give you a hard time and criticize your picks, but there is one team that drafted worse than you, and we're about to cover them now. So
yep. So
that is one upside, I guess.
Hey, King of Transition may be back.
Are they even in the same division?
No.
Oh well, I thought maybe you had that going.
No, Drew's with you.
Great.
No, but the King of Transitions has led us into our last game of the week, guys, and that is the biggest. I mean, the most anticipated matchup of the week: Bedtime versus Mark's Monstrous team.
And it
was everything we expected.
It didn't disappoint. I would definitely say that. I was on the edge of my seat.
Hey, if you were betting money, you bet the farm on that one. And
if you went with I don't know, what you guys should do is start giving over and unders on these games.
Yeah,
I don't know that we can count that high.
Right. Well, I can count that low if we're looking at Mark's team. No, but I do actually think Mark comes away with this with a little bit of upside. He found some kind of positivity there in a tough week. I wish Mark would have kind of listened to our episode last week and not the Warden's advice in throwing Harvey into a starting lineup?
I didn't give him advice to put him in his starting lineup.
I think he just overreacted to your advice to pick the guy back up.
Yeah, I definitely when he dropped him. Yeah, I definitely criticized that. That was a bonehead move. But to start him over now, I mean, would I put him in a flex? Yeah, I'm in another 12-man team that has 2 flex positions, and he was in my second flex position last week. But would I started him over J.K. Dobbins? No,
not in week 1. I think it's coming. I do think it's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, one time he had both in the lineup,
which wasn't a bad move in my opinion.
I think.
It's another running back by committee situation. So
it's kind of insurance. It depends on how you look at it. It could be insurance. It could be a.
Well, that's a committee. Denver's been a committee for a while.
But most time in a committee, one guy is going to get the points that week over the other guy. It's not like both of them. Very rarely do both of them score.
Yeah, unless I don't know. Yeah, you got the Lions situation. I feel like the Vikings got a Lions situation this year.
Vikings could do that. Lions situation was kind of a little different.
Miami had it that way for
the
So there are some where it works out. Unfortunately, Bo Nix trumped that entire offense Sunday. So
and then as I look over, kind of looking forward at Mark, man, like, gosh, talk about kick a man when he's down. You got maybe one of your best rostered players in George Kittle put on the IR this week after an injury. Not to mention your backup quarterback, who probably could have or should have been your starter. But that decision is going to be a lot easier moving forward. But man, having a hard time putting together a good roster and you're getting injuries, man, that makes it tougher. So hopefully you're able to kind of navigate through that.
And there was a lot of tight ends injured last week. So the bad thing is tight ends are even more thin,
kind of a hot
even on the waiver wire. I mean, Ingram was injured. Bowers was injured.
Yep.
Kittle's on IR. I mean, there was just the tight ends took a beating last week.
Yeah. So let's just jump right to the flip side of that then, and we look over to the tight end for bedtime, and it was a conversation we had earlier before we started the broadcast today about Loveland for the Bears. That rookie, with so much upside. And our conversation was kind of in regards to the draft positioning over Tyler Warren and seeing the usage of Tyler Warren with the Colts. And is there any cause for concern over Loveland's usage? So that's going to be kind of a situation to monitor with bedtime. What do you guys, as Bears fans, you feel like it's just safe to just kind of keep rolling him out in that starting lineup?
Not this early.
Until he overcomes Kmet as the true starter.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to put a second tight end.
So that makes me wonder, is Kmet even rostered in our league?
He's not.
Probably not.
Probably not. So we got a guy rostered who's got a guy ahead of him sitting on the free. Okay. So that's the kind of league we're in. Anyway, but one bright spot, and I mean, it is a huge bright spot. Maybe Donnie's, it might be his, outside of drafting Jaden Daniels 7, I believe it was. I like that pick in our draft as a keeper league. I feel like Donnie's best move in his career is Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers' upside to me is exponential depending on what the Ravens want to do as far as letting Lamar air it out. But seeing the targets, the volume, the yardage, he gets it from he gets the short yardage work. That could end up being his number one receiver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree 100%. That duo gets better by the year, and this year could be the huge big breakout year.
Yeah.
I mean, he put up some big games last year, and he's becoming a favorite target is what it looks like. So
yeah, I mean those quarterbacks do I feel like they do kind of gel with certain players, and they seem to have it, and Donnie's going to reap the benefits of that.
And right now it's likely being out.
Yeah.
The tight ends just weren't there.
I think what surprised me about it was seeing how effective they were with Derrick Henry to still get that kind of production out of Zay Flowers. So they can literally beat you at every aspect of the game, but it doesn't hinder anything.
Yeah.
Henry had big numbers. Lamar had big numbers. Flowers has big numbers. So they're getting. Andrew's hurt, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's not an offense where you're looking at, I got to have this guy. You can pretty much plug and play one of 3 players, and they're all going to produce.
But are they going to score 40 points a game?
Not 40 points a game, but I feel pretty confident between the 3 of those that we're talking about, a 15-point minimum.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good. I mean, I don't think he's going to push your top tier wideouts.
I don't think he's going to compete with Chase.
He's going to be his top guy, obviously.
I think he's going to Flowers over Higgins, though.
I do.
put him
yeah,
over Higgins,
I put him over Higgins, 100%. Yet to be seen on Marvin Harrison. Good to see him get a good start to the year because I know there's high hopes for him this year that they're going to try to get him more involved.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think seeing the volume there has got to be reassuring that they are going to kind of follow suit there. I'm a little bit concerned about David Montgomery. I don't like it. I didn't like him as a keeper.
Well, I mean, obviously he gets so many touches taken from him.
Yeah.
Flex, if you flex him, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
if
And maybe caught, lightning in a bottle with Javonte Williams to kind of be able to maybe move David Montgomery into that flex position, move Zay Flowers into that starting receiver position, and kind of start to toggle back and forth with that trio of Harrison, Higgins, and Flowers on who, matchup wise.
Yeah, that'll be.
Donnie's got Donnie. I give you a hard time, man, but this is the best roster you've ever constructed, to where you actually get to put a lineup out there conducive to matchups and not just have to play guys because that's the only guys you have. So, you've done a good job. Dude is in 17 leagues though.
Wow.
Wow.
So
you water it down there, Donnie.
that's what I mean. Like,
well, I'll give you a little credit right now. He's the front runner on the high score week. Obviously, only been week 1, but what was it, 130?
133. 133 is the new benchmark.
So if there was a payout today at the end of the season, then it'd be the $50 right now in your pocket.
Nothing jumps out there really.
So
I mean,
I don't know that that's going
Williams.
to last all
we can
year,
talk about
but
Diggs and Allen.
way to start the year, Donnie.
Actually, I do want to circle back for just a second. Donnie, Trey, you got so much potential. You got Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen, and with the receivers that we just talked about,
Yeah.
why would you not want to trade and upgrade that running back position? You could throw one of those running backs in a trade, and Donnie's got the potential to end up with a devastating roster.
All he has to do is find a guy out there with some running backs willing to trade.
He's just got to put trades out there because I mean, with that roster, he should be able to build something.
I wonder if there's any guys out there with running backs that want to trade.
Nothing comes to mind.
Nothing I'll think.
Mark, big loss,
Definitely
but
not over there.
a positive loss if there is such a thing. Donnie, I don't anticipate you to end the season as the top scorer, but my gosh, I do think he's going to be top 3. I hate to admit it. I like Donnie's roster. Congratulations.
That's
job, Donnie.
big props coming from you.
Considering it's Donnie and it's coming from him, I'm actually kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. What are you going to do? All right, guys, we'll be back. Close down the show. All right, we're back. This is going to be the last segment of the show. I know these are long shows, guys. We are absolutely working to shorten these segments.
No,
we're talking off.
Yeah.
We brought Scott in here. It's going to be long.
Yeah.
I've tried to be quiet. I can't get a word in edgewise.
We have we're going to work on trying to get these coverages a little bit shorter, guys. So bear with us while we kind of work out the kinks. But let's move on to our last segment of the show, kind of talking about the predictions for this week, and let's kind of touch on our predictions last week. We are going to keep a tally as the season goes along, and we're also going to let our guest stars pick and kind of keep a running total as the season goes on. I'll add a graphic on the screen. You guys are going to see this. That'll kind of dictate what's happening. But starting off from last week, myself, I went 3-3. So my predictions weren't the best, weren't the worst. I missed out on the coffee creamers. Braden, you sold me, dude. I also missed out on Watson's, which is now the Twin Bowers. Really thought Drew was going to be able to kind of fend off Big Fish there, but gosh, looking at how that game went and at Big Fish's roster, I'm not sure if I'm going to pick against Big Fish this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other game I missed was this guy. I actually thought our defending champion was going to kind of come out with a little more gumption than he did. I felt like, I don't know if he was kind of laying down under, giving is he trying to come from behind? I'm not sure what Battle Busters is doing right now, but that was not a strong showing in week 1. That was my 3rd miss. So I was 3-3. Jason over here, what were you, Jason?
I think, what did I get? 2 of them right?
2-4.
But I got the one that mattered.
You
That's
got
all.
his,
That's all
yeah.
that mattered.
So Jason starts at 2-4. I'm 3-3. Hopefully we can do a little bit better. So let's move right into the games of this week. We're going to start right here at the top of the list. I know we're going to have a split jury here. It's going to be 1 against 2. I already know how this is going to go. First game on the tab is Motor Boaters versus the Warden. Obviously myself versus Scott. This guy right here to my left. Your guys is right. I'm going to go with myself. I feel like I have a deeper roster than Scott. I feel like I have a little more clarity at the quarterback position and the running back position. I'm still not sold on Achane. I'm not sold on anybody on that Miami Dolphins team. I'm still not sold on Kyler Murray. I like my chances. I do feel like it's going to be a close game, though. I don't think we're going to get into 130s this week. I anticipate us to hang kind of around where we were last week, but me by about 3 to 5 points.
Well, it's good to hear your optimism.
I'm not going to pick myself to lose.
The depth comment, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, we just established that I got the better of the 2 running backs on the Viking squad, and you've got one in a flex position. I got one on the bench. But anyhow, getting right to the picks, I'm most certainly taking myself. And there's no question. I don't think it's going to be close. I don't like some of my matchups, but it's a double-digit win.
Put it to a vote. Suits me. I'm voting for yours too. I'm voting for yours truly too. Okay. I'm with you fellas.
I'm with you, fellas.
I'm with you, fellas.
I'm with you, fellas.
All reality, though, I got to make a pick because Brandon gave me so much shit over the pick 'em last week that I threw out there. He gave it to me. He's lost. I think I got half a point for that one.
No.
Because I got a half right.
You didn't pick a winner.
I didn't pick the loser either. So I got some credit there. Point taken. I am going to stick with the Warden on this one. Love you, brother, but looking at your lineups, it's going to be a tight one, though. I'm going to give it about 2 points.
All right. So the only thing that sucks for me is I'm not going to be able to have the Warden on next week's episode to kind of lick his wounds. So I'll be here to celebrate it, though, and
He's always welcome back.
I will definitely. Yeah, you're welcome here anytime. And the lounge or the links, they're open to you guys. We want you guys to want to come on. Like, let's put faces to names. Again, we got a new member this year who doesn't know many of the people, so this is helpful to be able to see us. See you guys, get to know each other a little bit. So we're glad to have the Warden here. We're glad to have any of you here. We welcome you anytime. So you're obviously welcome back next week. Good luck to you. And I do anticipate celebrating against you next week. So it's just like the golf course. All right.
Cheap shot. Cheap shot.
Low blow.
It was.
Low
Hey,
blow.
I got to take them where I can get them, guys. I'm only good at one thing, and I'm not even good at that.
I would agree.
We're going to move right on to the Battle Buster versus Beast by Ray. And I actually think, given Battle Buster's week 1 performance, I think these teams were very close in scoring in week 1. I have this is going to be a very close matchup.
Yeah, I feel like it could go either way. What's these rosters look like again?
I mean, as I hate to have dead time here, so I'll jump right in. As I look at down top to bottom, I see a guy who's confident in his roster. I see a guy with a lot of number ones and a lot of flexibility there, and I see a guy who's kind of searching. That being said, that's going to kind of lean where I'm going with this pick, and I'm going to give that to Battle Busters. I could see this one going double digits. Unfortunately, Tim, I don't like the George Pickens. Given week 1's kind of output, I thought he would be featured a little more from Dak, especially because he's going to have favorable matchups against secondaries with CeeDee Lamb on the other side of the field. So it was a little bit disappointing there as I looked it down. But knowing he's already pulling 2 guys out of his roster, searching for better production, and we haven't even made it to bye weeks yet, kind of tells all you need to know about
Scrambled
a
already.
team. Yeah, about a team, in my opinion. So if it leads to a win, I'll congratulate you next week. But my gut tells me Battle Busters by 10 plus.
Wow. No, I've got it closer than that. I'm actually going against you here. I'm going to take Beats by Ray. Just for one, I think Jordan Love's queer, and the entire Packers organization follows suit with him. So I would never pick Jordan Love led team. But anyhow, I do think it's going to be close. I think this is going to come down to the actual matchups in these games. I feel like Kamara. I feel like the bigger, some of the big hitters for Battle Busters have got are going to be.
It's a tough matchup.
They're going to be going against some defenses that need their defenses to show up. Niners are hurting. They got to have their defense show up. Minnesota basically rallied around their defense Monday night to beat the Bears. So
yeah,
it's going to be close. I'd love to pick Battle Busters, but you've got Jordan Love as your quarterback, so I'm going with Beats by Ray.
And I don't hate that. I think one of the things I really liked about Battle Busters was the production with Deebo Samuel on Washington. I know I was giving him a hard time for all the Washington players, but he's not playing those players all the time. So when we talked about that earlier, that's more like flexibility for how to handle your roster. It's just kind of suggestive. But gosh, seeing how Washington used Deebo was very, very promising.
It was.
And to have him in the flex I feel like just kind of adds kind of fuel to the fire for him. And again, I go back to, looking over Beats by Ray. I feel like it's kind of number twos and number twos, You got number ones against number twos.
It is, but I like his matchups. I think he's got some potentially good matchups there. I think Joe Burrow comes out and totally flips last week's performance into a big showing this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the matchup. I agree the matchups are there. I try not to get overly caught up in matchups before the bye weeks start because I feel like you need that first 3 weeks of sample size to be able to gain some good traction on who's doing what. So I try not to bite the bullet on matchups in these first few weeks. So that's just where we're different, but that's okay too. So where you at, Jason?
I've got kind of the same vision as you do there. I mean, I think Tim's already kind of in that scramble mode a little bit, trying to piece some things together, making some moves off of his bench, putting them in the starting lineup, which, you drafted your horses to begin with. And week 2, you're already kind of second guessing some of those horses. I kind of got this one to be Battle Buster easily, probably about 10 points. I mean, I think.
So we're following right in suit there. So we got Battle Buster, Beats by Ray. All right. So we got an outlier here. He doesn't want to be part of the program. So he doesn't want to come back. All right. Letting his feelings be known by having to read between the lines.
Giving you guys his records from last week.
Want to know. What are you talking about?
you might have it right.
Yeah, I don't.
My record talk about your team is not reflective on how I view my team. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next matchup. We got the Jettas versus Bedtime, and this is actually going to be probably the matchup of the week.
I would agree. There's some big hitters here.
Yeah, given the way these teams performed last week, and I see some slight adjustments to Bedtime's roster. Moving Montgomery into that flex position and Javonte Williams into that starting position, which obviously moves his Higgins to that bench. But again, we talk about Donnie's got some flexibility with that roster, and he's putting it to form right now. It won't be long before I question how long you got to kind of get involved in Pearsall because I feel like his usage is going to be heavy early. You got to understand they have no Kittle now. Ayuk's out. Deebo Samuel's gone.
They ain't got no Purdy this week either.
They ain't got no Purdy, though.
Sure,
So
I guess that's true.
I don't disagree with having Pearsall on the bench.
But that is going to be a situation to kind of monitor moving forward is where is their production going to come at the receiver and tight end position. And Pearsall's kind of all they got at this point. They do have that Jennings last year. I don't know what he did last week.
He's been injured too.
Okay.
So I mean, to have Pearsall as a coming off your bench spot start, that's actually a pretty good guy to have.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the week.
and
with that backup quarterback.
And then as I look over his roster and I I can't find a spot to put him, because I
Yeah,
can't.
exactly.
I
he's
can't.
got
I
a
can't.
solid
You
lineup.
can't put you can't pull Swift and put him in there because he's not a running back, and that would be the one I would pull. So you just write it out, Jettas, and see what happens. I'm gonna go with. Gosh, this is a toss-up, man. I'm gonna have to go with bedtime. I hate to do it, Donnie. I cannot believe I just picked you again 2 weeks in a row.
You're up
Wow.
another peg.
My goodness. Yeah, it's going to be a close one, though. I got this one 1 to 2 points.
Yeah, I feel like either way. Yeah, I could go either way here. But just for the sake of, let's say, just for the sake of being on the other side of the commish, I'm going to go with the Justin Jefferson masterclass here.
I went Justin Jefferson's masterclass as well on this. I think it's going to be a very close competitive game, and like you said, probably the big game of the week. And it could go either way. Donnie's team is great. I think this is probably going to be the overall highest scoring game out of
I
the
agree.
whole thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to watch.
And like that Javonte Williams move could be very big. I mean, look at the matchup. The Giants. I mean, that might be the move that does it. So that's what I'm banking on. Obviously, I could be wrong and probably will be. I'm only batting 50% right now, 500. So we'll see how it goes. But I got Donnie by 2. They're going the other way. Moving on. Next game on the list, Coffee Creamers versus Mark's Monsters team. I think we're actually going to be unified once the reunification project in full effect.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Coffee, Mark, but they didn't happen.
I'm sorry, Mark, for you. Braden, this matchup couldn't come at a better time in your life when you were right hanging off the edge of the cliff, ready to just dive. You need this matchup against this team because you need to understand that you can still play fantasy football. You do know football a little.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, Braden, you're in trouble. If you lose this week, you're in
gosh.
trouble.
Oh, man.
You're in trouble.
You already painted a
It
target.
don't matter if you go on to win every game after this. He is not ever going to drop this one. So no pressure.
I just can't. I don't know if he's realized the target he put on his own back.
Well, just with you.
No, because it started to shed some light
Well,
with the way Jettas went after him after that win.
Hey, but
he's got nothing but cockiness, and people are going to come after him, so they're going to enjoy those wins against him.
Hey,
I can't
like
wait
the
to play him.
trash talk on the board. I ain't mad at him.
I love it.
I like it.
I love it.
Keep going, Braden. You do you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if we're making it official, I got to go with Coffee Creamers, but there's a reason they play the game, and every one of those guys on Mark's roster is a professional and capable.
Just don't know if Mark.
I just don't know that they're going to put it all together. He got some decent matchups. He went out there. He got Danny Dimes. So
the rush was on.
I think he made great moves this week. I mean,
I would agree.
Very impactful to him to be able to get better each week, and that's why I've tried to express to him is like the way he came out of the draft. He can come back. He's just got to work at it, and he's showing that he's trying. And I'm not going to say he can't win because I feel like he's put the best lineup he can put out there.
Yeah,
is there. But I still got Coffee Creamers. I know anything can happen. I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout, but I do have it around 7 to 10 points. Coffee Creamers.
I got a 12 on the Coffee Creamers, but I will tell you this: I mean, you play enough fantasy football, that weird lineup just blows up every now and then. I'm not saying it's going to happen for him this week. It could.
Yeah, and I guess ultimately it boils down to I don't anticipate Mark being under 100 again this week.
I don't anticipate Mark being over 100 this year.
All right.
Is that combined on the whole year?
Oh, my gosh.
I wouldn't go that far.
Sorry, Mark. I tried. Coffee Creamers all the way. Next game. Team Johnson versus the Twin Bowers, formerly known as Watson's Bath and Spa. I'm going to do that this episode so everybody can get used to the name change from this. From this episode moving forward, he will just be the Bauer or the Twin Bowers. So this is going to be an interesting game. This actually has the potential to be one of those sleeper games that becomes very close. If we're talking about close games of the week or best games of the week, because that could be two different things. I could see this being the closest game of the week at 100 to 101.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
This
Not the highest.
This could be a pitcher's duel.
Yes, a pitcher's duel is a great way to put it.
Sure.
I don't think they're jumping off the board. They're going to score a ton, but I don't think either one is going to be able to pull away from the other.
Yep.
I got to lean on Drew this week just because I feel like no offense, Mark, I feel like Drew just works a little bit harder at it. I don't think that's going to end up being his final roster for the day. I think he's going to figure out a way to kind of manipulate something to get a little bit better. This is just a pick, and I'm just picking Drew. There's no more, no less.
I'm just curious here. I just wanted to see
He did
something.
grab
But
Trey Benson. And he got Brian Robinson Jr.
I'm looking strictly. I mean, I ain't basing it just off quarterbacks alone, but if Bo Nix plays the way he did last week and the Colts defense plays the way they did last week, Bo Nix is in for a long day. I can't see A.J. Brown not showing up 2 weeks in a row. I got this game. It's definitely this is going to be a close one to call, but I got to go Team Johnson here.
I, as well as Brandon tears up everything in my garage, I'm going to go with Team Johnson on this. Drew, love you. I think you're getting it. You're getting there. Playing Mark last week, seeing kind of what that. I mean, he's got some nice pieces on that roster.
I don't disagree.
Obviously, he gets anything out of AJ Brown, he beats me. I mean, like you said, that's not going to happen every week. So I think he's got enough pieces. I think Drew has some pieces he's putting on that roster now that as we get later in the season, that's going to pan out for him. I just think it's a little early on some of these guys. So I'm actually going to say Team Johnson by about 3.
And I don't disagree. I mean, I disagree because I picked Drew, but I can see it going either way. But, I will kind of piggyback on what you just said real quick before we move on. I do like what Drew's doing on the free agent board. I feel like he's positioned himself to be able to prepare a trade offer to somebody to be able to upgrade his roster a little bit. And I think that's what he needs to do. I actually think Drew is probably going to have a tough start to the season. So these first 3 weeks in the division are going to be tough for him. I could see him coming out of it 1-2 maybe. But I actually feel like Drew's going to be a tough out later in the season. So
That's fair.
That's just kind of my take. I don't think you're going to be able to hold these guys down all year. I think he's going to do just enough, and he's open to trading. And that's not everybody's open to trading, and Drew is one that is, and he's willing to gamble. So I feel like he's going to do the right things to kind of get his roster right. I'm picking today on a hunch. They obviously picked the other direction. I don't disagree completely. I can see it going either way, but that's just kind of where we're at. So good luck to both of you. Moving on to the next game, the last game of the week. Obviously, short bus driver hasn't been up yet, and he's going against Team Big Fish. So, gosh, we got some great matchups.
There are some good matchups this week. I will say that.
Golly.
This is a Super Bowl rematch.
This is a Super Bowl rematch.
From 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I don't think the rosters are relatively close to where they were then, but I feel like this is a pretty evenly matched kind of comparison here. And when you look, they are 50-50 on the
It's split, even by ESPN
in the win
standards.
probability. So this is going to be a hard game to actually pick. I know where you're picking, and just for the sake of, we got to have some difference in opinions here. I mean, that's what a show is, right? You want to have people agreeing all the time. I'm going to be going with Team Big Fish. And the thing is I know I say it like it's going out on a limb, but it's not. He has got a lot of good pieces.
He does.
There's a couple things I don't like, but
That's
that's
fantasy
just
football, and that's everybody's roster.
got their own roster. I'm curious if Justin Fields can do this against Buffalo.
He did it against Pittsburgh.
Lamar Jackson did.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson balled out. I mean,
Lamar Jackson is not Justin Fields.
no, but they put up similar numbers in similar situations.
Yeah, similar styles.
They do have a similar style, so maybe
You
it
look
is something.
at what Baltimore did. They had a quarterback that produced big numbers. They had one wide receiver that produced big numbers.
Yeah.
They had one running back produce big numbers.
What's the Jets?
You had the
But
same thing with the Jets.
But like, I mean, I look at the difference here, and when we're talking about a close game and the win probability is 50-50 on ESPN standards, I don't see a 4-point influx from Justin Fields to Baker Mayfield. I don't see Justin Fields as 4 points better.
I mean, it just comes down to
Just
the rushing. I mean, that's where the 4 points
where
are made
he-
up. I mean,
makes up a
He's
lot.
not going to throw 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns. Baker will.
yeah, but if he throws through and runs one, that's 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, if he puts up,
I'm trying to give you
I get
kudos
you.
here,
He
asshole.
he puts up 60 yards rushing. That's a
I got
touchdown.
my own
Pick a
kudos.
team big fish by 10.
You're going big
Big
fish.
fish. Just for that.
I'm honestly, I'm looking at a tight end that didn't do anything on Monday night, and I'm looking at a flex position that I
I don't like
Cooper
that.
Kupp.
That's the one thing I don't like.
I really don't like that. I think McCaffrey's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see with all the injuries to San Francisco. You got a backup quarterback playing. Obviously, he's going to be the centerpiece of their offense.
But what a matchup to be! It's centerpiece.
Yeah,
You got the
exactly.
Saints.
Well, a lot of times that if they know what's coming, they know what's shut down too.
Yeah, he's our professional athlete.
This
11
one's
on
a
one.
tough one. I
Right.
could go either way, but I'm always favoring running backs. Honestly, I think you get the production where the production is going to come from. I've got to go with the short bus driver here.
All right, where you at?
Obviously, you guys know where I'm at. I'm taking myself. Why wouldn't I? But that's not saying Dane don't have a nice roster.
Yeah,
No, any other matchup, I think I'm taking Dan this week.
Yeah.
I just need
But you're right.
got to
I
fill
like-
that flex position, Dan.
I like
that
that.
Cooper Kupp flex position. I'm not liking that.
I like Douglas in your flex. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean,
Against that Miami defense we seen last week, that was flat out terrible.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they fed Douglas last week. 7 targets.
I like I said, I am picking myself on this. I will say, who don't make that critical misplay of a guy, that last week I got lucky with the A.J. Brown
Yeah.
one. I mean, not that you're going to take him out of your lineup, but, it's one of those decision-making guys that you make the right decision. I think it's going to come down to that, who made the right decision at the end of the week. But obviously I'm going to take myself because why wouldn't I?
Yep, I agree. So
Well, good luck this week, fellas. Thanks for having me.
absolutely.
Right on,
That's
right
kind of
on.
a wrap to the show, guys. So
wrap it up.
last thing I want to talk about real quick is who's paid. So this past week we've had Team Big Fish paid up. Beats by Rays now paid up. So we're up to 4 owners paid up. So let's get that money in, guys. If you need to figure out where to send it, just reach out in the league chat. Jason can kind of steer you in the right direction and make sure you guys get it where it needs to go. I look forward to a great week 2. Obviously, we're excited. Everybody loves fantasy football. Everybody loves football season. I look forward to these kind of nights, and hopefully we can kind of bring more of you guys on. Got anything to kind of close the show out, Jason?
Hey, anything that about even the show part of the league, obviously anything that would be better for you guys, throw it at us. We'll bring it in. I mean, you want us to talk about something, throw it at us. We'll work it into the show. You want to be part of the show? I mean, that's what we're looking for, to make this, more exciting and a little bit more action in the league.
And more inclusive, and that's the whole idea behind this league, is to just bring us together. So if you guys have something you want us to focus on more, I know we get to rambling, so that's just kind of part of it. But if you guys were here, you'd understand it the same. Scott just said it. It's like, golly, we sit here and talk, and it just, you don't realize how
Keeps
quickly,
going.
how easy it is. So I apologize for the length of these videos. We're going to try to do our best to shorten these up. But hey, let's have a great week 2. Game's probably getting ready to start here any minute. So look forward to it, guys.
Hey, what I will say is, I mean, do we need to shorten up that video? Hey, some guys kind of really like it is. I mean, I know it gets a little lengthy, but you know, the more that we put out there, the more we got to talk about each week. We got plenty to talk about. We bring Scott on, we can talk all day.
Yeah.
Maybe some suggestions,
Sure.
topics to cover.
Yeah. So,
But if you want it shortened up, you want it. I mean, if you like it like it is, we'll roll with it.
yeah, and that's why I try to give the timestamps on your guys' specific team, so that you know if you want to just watch what I'm talking about your guys' team, then you can just do that. So. We're going to kind of leave it at that. Good luck to everybody this week. Our picks are what they are. Hope everybody I hope everybody's able to have a great week, and we have all fucking 1-point games, but that's not, not going to be the
one
case.
key thing that you're going to see this week, all the 1-0 teams are playing each other, and all the 0-1 teams are playing each other. Pretty cool thing for week 2.
I know, that is very cool. I'm
So
glad
you're
you
going
kind
to
of
end
picked up
up
on
with
that.
4 2-0 teams, 4 1-1 teams, and 4 0-2 teams at the end of this.
So this is going to be kind of a little bit of separation early in the season that we need in these divisions. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. So good luck, guys. See you next week. See you in the funny pages.
Peace out.